Right, the button has been pushed. It's funny. It should be good. I'm gonna post the announcement.
What
Yes.
a funny button.
What a funny button. While I'm here, I'm gonna grab the fine dining link.
I pushed a...
Millie is going to meet up with an associate of Hi for some train.
Oh god. It's his. I'm tired, bro. There we go.
You're good. You're
Train.
good.
I mean, I think Billy had enough train last time.
Don't worry, I'll do a little hyphen for some train-ing, you know? It's a pun. It's a pun. It was intentional.
Now it's smart and clever, and now everyone's having a great laugh.
Yes, I did it. I didn't fuck up. You fucked up. It's your fault.
Now everyone's having a proper laugh.
Yeah.
Hee hee hoo hoo.
Hee hoo peanut.
Hee hee hoo hoo peanut, yes. Have we fucked around enough, do you think, that we can introduce this shit?
Yeah, so none of the people who are good at it are here. So,
I can do it. I know what to do.
Or I can do it if you want to. You want to?
I can do it. I've gotten better at it. Hello, everyone.
Alright,
Welcome
yeah,
to
you.
another DBA short story. So, if you're unfamiliar with DBA, it's our weekly or semi-weekly game run in the anime campaign or Epithet System. It's called DBA, Destruction Bench Agreement. It's all a good time. And while the mainline series is, your usual tabletop, you got combats and sometimes puzzles and, RP, we've got a couple little side things that we do sometimes. One of them is called Data Bounties, which is basically just the fighting and sometimes puzzles. But these short stories are the opposite, where it's primarily RP. Sometimes there's like a little combat, but the main purpose of these is to tell stories that we can't otherwise do or don't really have the time for in a mainline episode. And so we're doing one of those today, and the people who are doing it are Kakapo and Savvy. You guys want to introduce yourselves?
Yeah.
You go first.
Yeah, sure. Hey everybody, it's me, Kakapo. I set up this funny little event here because our pal Millie, had a certain predicament that she brought up, and, I'll explain more of the situation soon, but a character of mine, Valkanor Graves, had a unique solution to that predicament. So we'll get to more of that in a moment, but first, we could perhaps introduce our other friend here, Savvy.
Hey everyone, I'm Eternal Savvy, otherwise known as Eternal_Savvy or Savvy or the Ape. I'm playing Millie,
Ape.
and I just had a great idea for DBA. So we've got one thing that does the combat and one thing that does the RP. Now we just need a dedicated thing where it's only the breaks. And so it's just nothing but
So a
people tagging out to
podcast?
get water. No. It's just people tagging out to go get water and go to the toilet and having general chit chat while they're gone. But there's never enough people for like a proper conversation.
Podcast light.
Yeah.
Very good.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I'll pitch that to Soleil. We'll see what we can do.
I'm sure she'll go for it.
Yeah.
And if you're wondering who I am, it's me, James, or Jamie. I'm the streamer for today. If there's any audio issues, like anything's out of balance, just let me know and I'll solve that. I'm just here to be the cameraman, because they needed someone to do that and I was available.
Yeah, thank you, Jamie. You're a lifesaver.
No problem. And, chat, if you want to figure out if we ever do Savvy's rancid bit idea, or, you want to know more about these characters, know when the mainline episodes, or the data bounties, or more short stories like this happen, you know where you can go. You can go to Fine Dining, our Discord server.
Whoa!
Link is in the chat. It's a great time. It's a great time. We have a lot of fun. Other people also stream and post their announcements in there, so you can have some fun with the whole crew here. All right, and with that, I'm going to mute, and you two can continue on with your wonderful little adventure you have going over here.
Much
Yeah,
thanks.
yeah, for sure. Appreciate it. So, Millie, just to give us a recap and remind Millie of what's going on in her head, and maybe just recollecting what's going on that led her up to here. After the aftermath of episode 188 of Destruction Bench Agreement, End of the Line, Millie, along with many other things that were going on, Millie here expressed sort of discontent with the idea of being a part of DBA, but also the desire to go stronger. And while this desire to go stronger may lead her back to Destruction Bench Agreement, someday, another person who was a part of that episode situation, Valkenor Graves, brought up that he has an associate who has, coincidentally enough, has a operation where she trains people in an area isolated from Destruction Bench Agreement, some members of which wish to stay out of the DBA camera's light in the first place. So, Graves offered to introduce the two of them to each other to see if that connection could be established. Millie obliged, and now she stands here. Millie, you find yourself at the Daybreak Bay port, the city where DBA is, but it's Daybreak Bay, city where DBA is, but also it's a pretty decently sized port city, so
yes. Daybreak
chips.
Bay.
Yeah, Daybreak Bay. You get it. Yes. Yeah, and now you're just kind of you're kind of told to meet someone here, and yeah, you're just kind of sitting around. What's going on in your head? What you thinking of?
Well, Millie. Well, first off, Millie is no stranger to waiting. And a lot of the time, it was to her benefit in the past that she got good at waiting. Without moving around too much or drawing attention to herself, all of that jazz. I think at the moment she's mainly just kind of like a little skeptical, but is here just because, like, hey, why not? If there's even a chance, they may as well take the shot. She's one of those people which is like, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, even if she is, skeptical about them. So I think she's fairly blank-minded at the moment, just kind of waiting, and I don't think she has any particularly like strong feelings one way or another as to whether this is going to be like, successful or whatever. And a lot of her focus is just going towards curtailing a lot of bloodthirst, which ultimately she knows she could probably switch off of it, but she doesn't really want to bother with it right now until it's an issue with conversation.
Yeah. And other than maybe the odd look from a person or two passing by, nothing super notable happens, and you're probably used to that aspect anyways.
Exactly.
But after a little bit, you get a call.
Yeah, she picks up.
Yeah. It's you see the number? It's a number Graves gave you rather recently. If he didn't give it to you at the end of the line, he definitely gave it to you after the
sure
cameras were shut off. Yeah, for sure. But yeah, just not choose side. But yeah, Graves picks. You pick up. It's Graves. Hello, Millie. I imagine
Graves, I presume.
Yeah, it's me. Sorry I can't be with you, see you off, but I have some things going on. Plenty of diplomacy to organize after that ordeal, but I figured I may as well check in, see how you're feeling, and also just give you a couple heads up, words of advice. Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm just waiting to see. This isn't exactly a thing that I've pursued in the past, so I'm mainly just waiting to see how this goes. Can't say I feel one way or the other. So, yeah, just give me your warnings, whatever they are.
Yeah, no, smart. So, just sort of like audible sigh. Well, the thing is, the person in question, Gandhari Albina, if I didn't tell you her name, well, there it is. Try not to get intimidated. She, is very, yeah. Even though she's, sort of like the guru type, she can definitely come off a bit strong. But also but also very kind of lax, if that makes sense. Just sort of scratches, like, like you feel like he'd be scratching his head if he were here in person. But yeah. Also, just just another word of advice. If I know Gandhari well, there's a good chance she's either going to be, I'm just going to put it straight to you. Fuck it. She's either going to be wasted or hungover. That's
She immediately gets like her hopes are lowering, but she goes,
Right. Well, if it's any,
Yeah.
for one,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's only one version of me that'd be easily bowled over, and that's purely because they can't speak too well. So
Yeah.
I'm not
Well,
unfamiliar with brash people.
yeah, nah. She should be more lucid than the average person under those two categories. Apparently, it's an epithet reason why she constantly indulges in alcohol. But still, probably a good thing to let you know about before you assume anything or things go awry. Last
Well,
thing,
yeah, go ahead.
last thing, I don't know who she's gonna send to pick you up. She's definitely not gonna do it herself. She likes sticking around on her island or just doing her own thing. But, try not to draw too much attention to them. Most of them are camera shy.
I'm
Not
not sure I
either of you
have a
from-
lot of control over that, considering my general predicament.
Well, still do your best, I guess.
I won't exasperate it if that's what you mean. but
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah. Well, other than that, were you gonna say something earlier? Or,
Not anything important.
got it. Okay. Well, I do wish you luck. No matter how she may
Appreciate you
come
trying to
off, yeah, no matter how she may come off, Gandhari is good at what she does, so, yeah, no matter where. So I hope it goes well between you two.
Appreciate
and,
it.
yeah, good luck, and I'll see you around. And, on that, Grays would hang up.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And unless Millie has anything else to do, after a little bit of
she-
waiting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's not the type to do anything other than wait, really.
Yeah. And wait you do. And after a little bit, a big old ship comes up. Docks in. And a very strange looking girl comes out. She's she seems to be like a short black girl who has vitiligo.
Vitiligo.
Or vitiligo, yes, that's the word. Wearing a very fancy suit, and most notably, big ol' hand on her face, Shigaraki style.
I see. I
like-
see.
Yeah. Yeah, no, she sort of like peeks out of the boat, sort of looks around, and then just sort of like points at you, Millie, like, and sort of beckons you to come near.
Yeah, Millie. Millie just she's confident in her abilities, so she's just gonna kind of walk up and get close enough that they can talk.
Hi.
What?
Hi. I assume you're Millie. Yes. You matched the description.
Yeah, I do. Not a whole lot of
um,
descriptions like mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Pleasure to meet you. My name is Khalifa Makono. I'll be taking you to Gandhari. Okay.
Pleasure to meet you.
Just yeah. Thank you. I don't hope to bother you, but let's try to get going. I don't do well with public.
I
Mhm.
need to be put on top of the boat because I will go under it.
Well, now you're on top. Mm-hmm.
Let me
Yeah.
move. Yeah.
Yeah. Well. Yeah. 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 She just sort of like shuffles in and like starts getting some stuff ready. Yeah. I apologize. I don't do too well with people, so I am.
Don't worry, I'm not
But-
too fond of it myself. We don't need to talk.
Oh yeah. I mean. Okay. Yeah. And to that, I'm just gonna do this for a second.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Just so I can put you on a different map.
Cool.
And yeah. Since you don't really engage Khalifa in conversation, for a little bit, you pull out and head off from Daybreak Bay.
Mm-hmm.
Daybreak Bay, I should say.
Daybreak, baby.
Yeah. And yeah, I'm just gonna put us
Black map.
black map. Yeah. If you
Black map, and I'm 5 health down.
yeah, sorry about that. Khalifa like kills you or something.
Khalifa
I don't know.
punches me. Yeah.
Yeah. I'll let you handle that, but I'm just gonna reveal this area. Yeah. As she's driving the boat.
Oh, I
What?
did not mean to do that. Hold on.
Hey, Vsauce, Khalifa here.
Sorry, I must still have some of my fucking keybinds set up.
Yeah, no, it's all good. It's all good. Yeah, but as you, but as you two are sailing along, it takes a little bit, but not too long. About a half hour at most, but near the end of that half hour mark, Khalifa just sort of turns to you. How much have you heard of this place, I may ask? Uh, it's not completely unknown, but from what I hear, it's not too much of a talking point back on the mainland. So,
Well, considering I haven't really heard of anything of the sort beforehand, I don't know anything. I'm also trusting you a lot here, considering that I've had plenty of experiences in the past where similarly shady organizations have been bad for my health.
well, this is less of an organization and more of Miss Albina and the people who train under her. So I wouldn't really call us an organization. Aside from some previous connections, we hardly even know each other.
Well, one way or another, call me paranoid, but even a cult of personality can be a little bit suspicious sometimes.
Understandable. And if you feel as if this thing isn't for you, you can leave, and that'll be all good.
I'm trying to keep my mind open these days, and also trying to, I suppose, transition more to the civilian way of thinking. But
Yeah. I get it.
hmm,
Well, if I think we're about here. Yeah. And so Khalifa just presses a few mechanisms, the anchor drops. And Millie, you sort of look out and you're a lot closer to shore than you would have thought.
Hmm.
And there are some bottles scattered on the beach. And you look up and you see a person throwing them. A rather large woman in
I was
a
about to
sort
say,
of
real big.
yeah. In a sort of like robe. Very like traditional like guru outfit, but sort of contrasted by the by her sunglasses, which seem to be fogged up with a yellow mist.
Millie kind of internally has this thought of just like, oh, they're this kind of person, and but nonetheless,
Yeah, uh-huh.
you know, kind of, I suppose, for lack of another solution, just huh, jumps over to shore.
Yeah. And you see Khalifa follow, but strangely enough, she started off farther back than you, and she ends up much farther.
Mm-hmm.
Sort of like lands perfectly on her 2 feet. Uh, Miss Albina, Millie's here. And with that, I can set up Gandhari's theme. Yeah, there we go.
Hey,
No, I don't want to. Hey,
Kandari
Visa.
here.
Hey, yeah. Let me see if this music thing works. Bu bu bu. Play. There we go. Wowza. Oh, join. Yeah.
No music playing.
No. Roll music bot work.
Oh wait, is it on? Oh, is it music bot on Discord or on
Yeah,
Roll20?
it's music bot on Discord.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, they're not joining by the looks of things.
Yeah, no. If you wanted to, Savvy, if you wanted to open something up into another tab,
Hmm.
there's the theme uh in the music and activity commands chat. If we could just play it on our own. And I'll just tell you when to switch it off. If that's
Right.
fine with you.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no. Sorry. Guess it's just not gonna work.
No problem.
Okay, well, as soon as these ads fucking finish, I'll, yeah, there we go.
Imagine not using ad block. Anyway.
This is a
got it
silver
playing.
gunner rip, I'm an idiot.
I was about to say, yeah, this is really, you know.
Yeah, yeah, sorry for the technical difficulties,
Oh, apparently you can use slash commands.
yeah. Alright, well, I'll try that.
All right,
Mm-hmm.
try slash command instead. It will go for
Yeah,
you. Also, probably worth getting the correct
yeah,
version of the theme. There we are.
play. Wow, that's awesome. Well, let's just play it in our own chats. We can't play YouTube tracks on our
Oh, on
on
bots
MusicBot
anymore.
anymore.
Great, love it.
Yeah,
What an excellent change that Discord has made. Yeah, and
yeah,
give us both the link, and we'll just open it up, the proper one.
yeah. I can, yeah. I can just, I'll just post it in the MusicBot chat. Yeah, there it is.
That's the Silver Gunner one again.
That's the Silver Gunner theme. I'm gonna scream. Yeah, it's half-hour long. But yeah.
There we go. Okay, we got there.
Yeah, we did it.
I've got it, and I got it on loop. We can go forward with the rest of this, lol.
Yep. This lady just sort of sits up a bit, takes a swig of a bottle she's currently has in her hands. Oh, hey. Oh, hey, Millie. Pleasure having you here. Hope the ride wasn't too much of a trouble or anything like that, but hey.
I'm
Welcome.
used to traveling.
Ah, nice. So am
So
I.
you Gandhari?
Yeah, Gandhari Albina. Probably heard that name a couple of times at this point, but you know what's one more? Tad on top of that.
Hmm.
Yeah. Welcome to Gandhari Island. I named it after myself because I discovered it, and that means I can name it after myself. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So I've been told
Mhm.
things by a person that I felt was pretty skilled and pretty on point in terms of understanding the kind of person I am. And I'll be blunt with you, you weren't the kind of person I was expecting to meet.
When people hear of the great guru Gandhari Albina, they never expect me. I'm a bit unconventional. She stands up and sort of takes another bottle and just chucks it across. Lands perfectly in the sand. Yeah, no, might have been told the situation, but oh, I just I kind of go with the flow, sort of do as I please. Kind of helps me open my mind a bit, and that's kind of what my training's all about. Yeah, you see, I heard your whole plight about not wanting to be a part of DBA, but still wanting to grow a bit stronger. Yeah, am I right? Am I wrong? Somewhere
Well,
in the middle.
I'm currently, I wouldn't call it a plight so much as that it is just the prevalent state of my life right now. And
She kind of like, briefly separates herself just to illustrate, just to put a point on her next sentence, just,
Yeah.
I have a little bit of a split personality thing going on. And I've mainly just been dealing with it out of necessity, but I recently discovered that, well, getting back into the field or at least training might actually be worth my while. First time in a long time, I actually found myself gaining the ability to have a little control over this, which is new. So take from that what you will. It's not exactly like I'm trying to become some kind of, I don't know. I'm not trying to become the strongest, in quotation marks. Well, maybe some of my personalities are.
Yeah. I mean, that's fair. I mean, if everyone's trying to be the strongest, well, I mean, then becoming the strongest is gonna be a lot harder. So I can understand that ain't for everyone. Kind of like, does like the whole twisting the pinky in the ear motion. Now, I also kind of want to ask, since I did see parts of that episode you were on, what is your whole problem with being a part of DBA or trying to avoid that place in general? I mean, I have plenty of people here, in fact, kind of motions to Khalifa, who kind of like stands up even straighter than she already was when Gandhari does so. Got a lot of people here who have that same sort of reservation, but reasons vary from person to person, so I guess I'm kind of interested to hear yours. Kind of want to know what your deal is before we can commence.
Well, since you asked, as you have noticed, I don't exactly have a whole lot of control over my own consciousness at this point anymore. And none of the versions of me are particularly happy about that in the first place. I can't exactly speak at length about the next thing I'm about to say, but I used to do work for the government. Take that as you will. And it was what landed me in situations where I had... It was what landed me in situations where I had to use my epithet to a point where these versions of me started sticking around for better or for worse. So, when you ask why don't I want to be a part of DBA? Well, because I know very clearly exactly the kind of reputation for chaos that DBA has, and the type of chaos that surrounds the people who are involved in it. And I, frankly, have had my fair share, considering my doubled version of chaos that I have to deal with on a daily basis. I'm retired, for fuck's sake. Well,
Yeah.
It's not as simple as being retired. Point is, I'm trying to actually live a civilian life at this point. I'm not interested in getting involved in another organization's chaos.
Yeah. Adversity to entropy. I think that's a new one. That's pretty interesting. Not that I can't respect it, in fact, I completely understand it. Sometimes you just want to stay away from the sort of troublesome, I guess as you put it, chaos that place brings. Especially since, well, there's an Akashic point.
Exactly.
I guess it's going to come to you whether you like it or not, even if you stick in the city. Don't worry, this place is, I think, maybe far enough away from the city itself to get rid of most of its effects. I don't know. But I don't know about 100%, but for the most part, big ol' monster guys don't come attacking us every day. We're 0 for 3 or 4 apocalypses with them, so that's something.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
Yeah. But regardless, she kind of like picks up this bottle, looks inside it. Shit, Tora tosses it over to Khalifa. You got a free coupon or something. Congrats. Oh, thanks. Yeah. By the way, my epithet just lets me know things. Well, I guess not know things, not know factual things, but sort of understand the world around me. That's how I can train people the way I do. If you
Right.
notice, all throughout here, you can kind of see a little bit of traces of my epithet. And Millie, you sort of like take a good look at Gandhari. You see sort of like a yellow mist sort of like coming out throughout her. And then you kind of notice a very faint version of that mist sort of all around you, and all around this island, in fact. Fortunately for my training, Epithet's got a pretty big range.
Millie kind of gets
Yeah.
this level of, you know, it's very much this feeling of like, oh well, you know, even if the person isn't, you know, up to what I was expecting, can't argue with results if the epithet is, you know, divination in nature. And she kind of stands up a little straighter and is like,
Well, by all means, then I'm more than open to hearing if there's any way to, I don't know, help me get this under control to some degree. I'm not necessarily... I suppose I've reached a point where I've kind of accepted that these other halves of myself are going to be around. But if I could at least have some... I already have a little bit more say in who's around when, but... Hell, if you could tell me anything I don't already know about my epithet, and I don't know a lot about my epithet, then I'm open to anything, I guess.
Yeah, sure. A whole fix 'em up sort of scenario. Yeah, we can do that. And I can also let you stay here. We got a couple of cabins, some houses here. For safe harbor against the DBA cameras if you don't want them coming to you. You see, I found a good little trick to at least having some parts of this island avoid the camera's ire, but we can get to that a bit later. For now, what can exactly you do? What's your whole epithet's deal? What do we have to work with so far?
Well, as mentioned, I have various sides of me which are, as far as I understand it, I inherently at least know that they are all versions of me. They aren't, you know, it seems like they're from alternate universes. I'm not sure, but it's also forks of myself, I believe. The way that it has happened has been like that. I don't get one new one at a time. I get two every time I gain new personalities. Well, again, personalities is sounding like I have DID or something like that, which this is not equivocal to. I straight up have half of my body phasing into a different version of myself, which, as far as I understand, they're all called Millie or something similar, so...
I see. To that, sort of, if you could, let's play, you can set this track to loop. And there's this track.
Alright.
Sort of like Gandhari just sort of like looks at you. Other world, you say? Interesting. I've met plenty of few people who are from other worlds. It's quite an interesting ordeal that yeah, no, I get it. I may not be the top expert on stuff like that, but you definitely came into the right hands if that's your problem.
Right.
Yeah, say, since I don't like intruding into this kind of stuff, your word, do you want to say your word out loud, or you want to keep that to yourself? It'll help me better if, you can tell me the word itself, but, I'll respect your privacy regardless.
Now, this is probably a good learning moment for you, because one side of me, the side of me I understand to be original me, wouldn't tell you my word no matter what. I've been trained otherwise. The other half of me states their word in order to give an equal playing field, or to prove that I can defeat someone even when they have an advantage over me. I don't even think their epithet is the same as my epithet is the same. It's confusing. Point is, my epithet, I will tell you in confidence, and I will do my best to inflict consequences should this information be misused. But my epithet is bifurcate.
Damn, okay, I didn't even have time to tell Khalifa to plug her ears, but that's fine, it ain't coming off this island. Alright. Interesting. Interesting.
Khalifa strikes
Yeah.
me as the type who takes orders, no offense.
I've
I'm
none
exactly the
taken
same.
this.
I'm the
Yeah.
same kind of person, if it's any consolation.
Understandable, yeah. Gandhari just sort of takes another bottle and takes like a long swig. Wow. Bifurcation, a two-sided, Vitruvian type, I presume. Mighty interesting. Yeah. Well, if I were to reckon, the two sides you're slated on right now are probably melded together, at least in mindset. If what you're telling me is true.
Yeah, the reason I generally keep to this one, this me, like kind of points with her left arm at her right side, which is the blood side, and goes, the reason I've generally kept this one around is because it seems like we have mostly the same thought processes, if even if I do feel that I'm a little bit that I'm a little bit violent. Sorry. It's weird talking as both of me. We don't particularly like each other's approaches. I'm normally stealthy, but violent, but the other one and the other me, I'm brash and bloodthirsty, which isn't necessarily different from the other version of... Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it. Ah. Hmm. How many of your other forms showed up on that, DBA episode, just so I don't have to make you switch through all of them right now?
All of them did, even if briefly. I get the feeling, however, that I haven't necessarily seen the last of me.
I get, yeah, no. Well, if we want some advice immediately, there it is. In order to really, get control over all of your forms, I'd assume you'd probably have to understand all of them. Once you kind of become sort of like a working unit of itself, a one-woman hive mind, so be it, then I think switching from form to form should be easy as pie. That's at least, my surface level, Observations. Oh my gosh. Oh. She just continues. She just takes another swig.
You
And
suggest
now, yeah.
you're suggesting that I allow myself to be influenced by them.
Not quite. What I'm suggesting is that is for all six of you. I assume that's how much you got at this point.
Hmm.
From what Grace told me, but and in general,
Oh, oh, I think we're losing Kakapo.
oh what?
Hello. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Say some words.
Some
Say
words.
some words. Okay, I
Some
think
words.
you're back. I think
Okay.
you're back.
My mic wants to assassinate me. Where'd I cut
You're
off?
back.
Yeah.
My ADHD is not allowing me to remember where you left off.
Entirely valid. Let's eradicate
Just
that
something
past
about
and make a
six
new
of
one.
me.
Oh,
Something about six of
yeah,
me
yeah.
and Graves.
Yeah, from what Grace told me and what I saw at show, there should be six of you. If you if you all get into more contact with each other, and maybe again, from my brief skimmings of the episode, I'll have to go and get a more thorough viewing. But if you all split apart and talk to each other more, get along, and try and get a common goal, well, you all could probably act as a sort of like army unit, taking advice from each other, and sort of
When you phrase it
getting to the
that
point.
way,
Yeah.
when you phrase it that way as like as an army unit, you can tell that like Millie isn't a particularly expressive person, but the bloody half of her can be very like outwardly emotional. So the midpoint between the two ends up that she's stoic most of the time, but when like when she has a strong emotion, it's really strong. And when she's in this particular duo, right? And you phrase it as like the army unit, and you can see like very plainly on her face that like there is the eyebrows raised, eyes open a little bit of just like fuck, that makes sense. She was like basically completely like, oh yeah, whatever, we talk to each other kind of thing. But the moment you said like, oh yeah, we need to work it out as if we're actually like a cohesive army unit who has each other's back, that seems to like hit hit home, or at least like make sense to her. And she kind of goes,
Huh. So, like, in the same way that you'd expect the sniper to actually be backing up the front line, and the medic to be on hand if someone gets injured, I need to figure out who's what, and actually, maybe then once they actually know when and where they're appropriate, I can at least expect when they're gonna show up. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's all about coordination. You six are stuck with each other anyways, may as well make something out of it. May as well be on the same page as each other, right? And that goes for the other four of you as well, if they're listening at all, I guess.
We operate off of mostly the same information a lot of the time, so we
Well,
do share each other's brain processes, yeah.
Well, that's mighty convenient. See, you're already on a good foot. You share each other's brain processes. Well, now you gotta put those brain processes or something like that to something y'all want. She's sort of like snapping in the air, trying to like struggling to think of the word. Something you all want to do at the given moment, whether it is to survive, whether it is to go to the store and get a cup of coffee, whatever you want. Just so long as you guys can sort of switch out, switch in, stay together, split apart as a team. Because that's what your epithet's making you, am I right?
You say that again. You say that, and again, there's that moment of just like, huh, hadn't thought of it that way. And she goes,
Mm-hmm.
Army of one. Yeah,
Yeah.
I suppose I have.
Yeah.
I suppose I kind of am just a team of me now. I would,
Yeah.
hell, if I really communicated with myself here, I might be able to become the most coordinated unit that has ever existed.
Yeah, now you're
Not just
talking.
not just a hive mind, but me. We wouldn't just even have one mindset. I'd have as many mindsets as there are versions of myself, but in line with each other enough that we'd be able to actually direct towards roughly the same thing whenever there's problem. I gotta
Yeah.
admit, I didn't give you much credit when I first arrived here, but you clearly know more than your appearances let on in regards to advice
That's
of
how
this
it be.
nature.
Yeah. No, yeah.
It's
It's
at
just how I
this
think of
point-
things. Yeah.
I think it's at this point that Millie goes up and like offers a handshake of introduction.
Gandhari would reciprocate. Now, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Sort of like shaking for a couple of seconds and sort of ending it. Yeah, that's where we're sort of heading, but it is going to take some training for sure, and that's why you got me.
Any good
Let's get.
any good unit does need training.
Well, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm no stranger to
Well,
it. You tell me what we're gonna get up to, you give us an itinerary, and I'll put my heart and soul into it.
I'll have to schedule you around all my other trainees, other people who, much like you, wanna get strong, but without the whole cameras on them. I got them taken care of. Mm-hmm. So, training, what schedule works with you? You think once a week, twice a week, the entire week? That's a bit much, but I wouldn't say no to that. Though
I've done
actually, wait.
considering I've
Mhm.
spent a lot of time deployed where I haven't had the chance for a break. I'm not averse to a 7-day week, but if I'm trying to be a civilian again, I
Yeah,
should.
yeah.
My
I get.
cognitive behavioral therapist at least told me that I should try to schedule in some breaks. So as much as I
Oh
want to
yeah,
say
yeah.
7 days is fine with me, I suppose a regular weekend will do.
A regular weekend. Let's bump it up to a 4-day week, 3-day weekend. How about that? You got plenty of time to do
You,
other stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Hmm?
yeah, three. I was about to put that back. I was about to put that down to 3 days, but you're ahead of me. So yeah, 3 days works.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm more than fine with that. I can probably get you a schedule working. So let me tell you the deal of this place. Basically, when you're training under me, you're kind of like the boss. I'm just here to open your mind, give you advice, kind of like what we were just doing here. You know?
Hmm.
Sort of, helping you discover the best you. That's sort of, what I'm thinking of. So if you want to get acquainted with, any of my other, pupils, I can organize that. We can schedule
Aye.
some dual training. Otherwise, it's solo training, which is just more of what we were doing. But I will. But my pupils have some good alternative ways of thinking, so I wouldn't immediately turn them down. Not to say that you were, but just in case, gotta cover my bases. Hope you
No, you've got a
understand.
good beat on me, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have in the past. But again, I'm trying to get used to talking to people again.
Well, I guess the socialization's what you're looking for. I got a bunch of oddballs here, but maybe socializing with oddballs is what you want. I mean,
I don't
yeah.
exactly have a place to I don't exactly have a place to soapbox from considering my situation. So
Huh.
oddballs is fine by me.
Yeah. For sure. I could probably bring up a couple of people if you want.
Sure, let's go to
Additionally,
wherever this stuff is.
yeah, yeah, kind of. Let's go into the sort of underbrush. Like, let's go into the forest. That's where the main show takes place. It's sort of and Khalifa would follow. And this is where we're going to transition into Theater of the Mind. Not only because
Right.
I prepped this pretty quickly, but because for various reasons, I don't exactly want to show off this location yet. So,
Totally fair.
yeah. So Gandhari shows you into sort of a forest, and not going to be super in-depth in descriptions, but it does seem very overgrown, like a temperate rainforest of sorts.
Hmm.
Plenty of training equipment, plenty of just sort of like locations to do certain things on, like a lot more. Various mysterious sorts of plants growing. That stuff too. Yeah, here's kind of where the magic happens. So, word of warning, whenever you come here, go straight into here, cause as a favor to Graves, some DBA people are going to be training on the beaches. Now I know that, and while that is kind of counterintuitive to what I was sort of setting up here in the first place, I did kind of discover a little trick to making sure the camera doesn't really get inside, doesn't go where you don't want it to go. You hear me?
Yeah.
You see, DBA, it's sort of it's an entertainment program first and foremost. Therefore, if you just emphasize it's something super mysterious, cameras ain't gonna show shit until it's best to reveal the mystery or whatever. And nothing's going on here right now. I ain't doing
Ah,
anything,
okay.
so it's gonna stay
So
mysterious. Yeah.
kind of a shield based around tropes.
Bingo. Yeah. I mean, you see it all the time within DBA itself. I mean, many of the contestants themselves are trope away, so it's not like it's something unprecedented. And hey, when it's time for the curtains to go unfolded, I'll make sure all of you are out of here safe and sound to a better location. So,
That's appreciated.
yeah. Yeah. And I'll let you know when DBA is coming over. Yeah, one of the contestants, some guy named acquaintance of Gray's named Gordon or something's setting up a group, though hasn't done anything on that for a while. I might chalk that up to bad scheduling on his part, but we'll see how things go, and I'll keep you posted. Otherwise, you got this inner ring here, and then even further down, inner sanctum. I hope you understand, but I ain't gonna let you in there yet. But we'll see how things shake up. Maybe you'll get in there soon enough, but,
I'm not the
yeah.
type to go snooping in places that I'm not told to.
Well, good
Unless
for
I'm
you.
really interested in it. But mostly I keep myself in check.
I'll keep that in mind. Shouldn't be anything too big, but hey, that's just a thing. Couple people are even more secretive than, I guess you're Khalifa. Yeah.
It's noted.
Yeah. Sometimes I'll go out on excursions. I ain't too averse to interacting with the DBA people every now and then. It's an interesting organization after all, which is why I like playing around with sort of the things it got, and you know, allowing there to be a place like this in the first place. You know. But
Yeah.
I'm rambling. I'm sorry, but there's just a lot. Uh,
No,
but
I know
yeah.
how these things are. Getting let around facilities the first time is always a proper speech.
Yeah. Well, mhm. I suppose since we still have time here, of course. Feel free to go whenever you like. This is just orientation. But do you have anything else you wanna lay out front with me, or figure out while we're still here? Maybe do some rudimentary training. I'm fine
Do
with
you,
whatever.
I suppose I should ask, do you have any intended length of time that I can stay here in terms of a deadline? Are you expecting me to leave at any point?
As in, like, for today, or just for like, how long can you be a guest on Gandhari Island? Because for the latter,
I suppose
I
that is
mean,
what I'm
just hit
asking. Is this I attend this during my normal day to day, or is this more of a boot camp kind of deal?
attend attend it for as long as you like. If things change, I'll keep you posted.
If it's all right with you, then I'm. I may feel a little bit more. I might fall into the groove of things a little easier if I grab some of my things and bring it here, as if I'm attending one
Oh,
of my old boot camps.
oh, for sure. Yeah, no. Yeah, no. Stay here as long as you want. We got, as I mentioned, we got plenty of cabins. Oh,
Yeah.
actually. Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, there's something else. You see, when working under me, you're probably you have the option if you want to allow your powers to open themselves up and grow in further ways. You got your durability, she sort of like lightly punches you. You got the growth of your powers themselves, and you got coordination with your teammates. Me, I sort of make people grow in ways outside of that, but sort of relating to those three pillars of growth. I call it awakening. And let me
Right.
introduce you to a Gandhari's main passive.
Ooh.
Basically, if you want, and I just want to like emphasize anything regarding Gandhari, only engage with it as much as you want to. I don't want to
Right.
like rope Millie into anything you don't want her to be roped into. But
Mm-hmm.
since she's here, Millie has the option to, while training off screen between appearances, to gain awakening and expand her power set even further. Uh, which is effectively a fourth stat, which can be exchanged for increased general buffs, increased powers that Millie wouldn't have gotten otherwise, and sort of
Right.
yeah, and
So
just a
basically,
bunch of new
like,
things. Yeah.
if I wanna get some kind of level up which isn't epithet related.
Oh yeah, that would also be allowed here too.
Right. I'm interested in this. I will read through this proper
Yeah,
because,
yeah.
you know,
I still have
dumb
to like
brain
proper.
doesn't do good at reading large paragraphs of text on the fly, but I will copy paste
Oh
this
yeah,
and I
no,
will
I
totally
totally
just
get it.
read. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally get it. And like, I still have to like properly iron out what you can exchange for awakening.
Of
But
course.
since we're here, may as well just let you know about it now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put this in my DBA chat.
Yeah.
It is now the fourth thing that I've posted in my DBA chat on my diary server.
Nice, nice.
Do you remember the first one that I posted? I posted it at one point in voiceless.
I don't remember. I don't remember.
There was a point in time where the first and only thing in my DBA chat was the phrase "whistle that repels gamers." And that was
I don't
it.
think I was here for that chat, but that's fucking
Yeah,
amazing,
that was a
dude.
that was a
Yeah.
funny moment in call when
Yeah,
I
yeah,
looked
yeah.
over and that was literally all that was there. Anyway, carry on.
What is DBA but a whistle that repels gamers? But yeah. But let's continue. Gandhari just sort of says, "Yeah, swell training under me. Got a bunch of different ways your powers can grow. Maybe even some more combat training. Can focus into that, spec into that. Uh, and we can even establish some training goals to focus where we're going. Of
That
course.
sounds agreeable, yes.
Hmm. Yeah. Just another thing of note when training under me. But otherwise, we can probably get to know things as we go along.
It's always the way of things with this kind of stuff.
Yeah. Especially me. Again, go with the flow. Yeah. But of course, I can probably show you to a good cabin. But you got any final questions before we begin in proper?
I can't imagine that I won't have an opportunity to ask anything that comes to mind. I can't think of anything right now other than, I suppose, yeah, I do have one last question.
What?
What exactly did you get out of this?
Gandhari just sort of tilts her head, looks to the sky a bit. Huh. That's kind of that's a question and a half. Uh Bit of a loaded one too. We're sort of implying I got ulterior motives. Well, for one,
It,
I like it. For one, I like it. I like it a lot. I like seeing the different ways I can make people grow. For two, I mean, it's gotten me into contact with some interesting people, yourself included. Uh,
ah, I
yeah.
see.
Yeah, for three? Well, my epithet is all about sort of understanding yourself, understanding others, and understanding the world around you. And by helping other people understand themselves, I guess I get a little bit stronger too, and I kind of want to increase my own strength.
Say no more. I know, I know I've met folks like you before. The information is
Yeah,
the reason. And I
yeah,
gotta say,
yeah.
for the
Don't.
most part, I've always had more confidence in folks like yourselves than people who kowtow to the whims of money.
Hmm. I don't need money. I don't need money. I got everything I need over here. Uh, Living off the land is such an underrated lifestyle, after all. But yeah, don't get it twisted. I got that good old altruism in me. Not saying that as a brag, just saying that because I'm stating the facts, and it'd be dishonest to say otherwise. But yeah, growing in strength, that's definitely another motive of mine. So yeah.
In which case, that's all I had to ask.
Well, all right. If that's that, then let's let this thing officially get started. I'll show you to a good cabin if you do want to stay there. Khalifa can escort you to your previous staying if you want to officially get moving. But otherwise, welcome to Gandhari Island. Pleasure having you as a pupil. And
And
Oh, go ahead.
no. I was gonna close this off. Do you have anything left to say?
Yeah, no, it literally, I was just about to say, like, understood, and that's it. So go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah. And with that, Gandhari leads Millie to a cabin. Sort of gets her situated. And what happens afterwards? Well, who's to say? The goings on of Gandhari Island are rather secretive. But
Yeah.
we shall see what happens in the future on Destruction Bench Agreement. And if you wanna see what happens next on our in this saga or anything else, anything me, Savvy, Jamie, or any of us other wackadoodles have left, if you want to see the whistle that repels gamers, then join Fine Dining, our Discord server. Jamie, get the link.
I've been rushing to try to do so. I didn't have enough time.
You failed me.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
Don't
None
worry,
of the
I got
gamers
it.
will be here to criticize you.
Shit, I clicked the wrong thing.
Yeah.
What did
Yeah,
I click? Oh, I clicked U
I don't know.
block. Quit. There we
I
go.
hope that was a good time. It's always good.
Yeah, that was great.
Slash
Thank you very much. That was good. It's a good, short and sweet little
problem.
thing.
Yeah.
And now I feel a little bit more motivated to play Millie.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, thanks very much.
For sure. Yeah, no problem. And thank you for coming along.
And thank
and
Jamie for being last minute streamer.
Yup.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you so much. You are very epic and cool and good friend and a good streamer and lifesaver.
And thank you, viewers, for watching. As we said, you can find out more about this shit by clicking on that funny link I finally posted, and woo! Have a good time, folks. Say goodbye to chat, you fuckers.
Bye. To chat.